What's up guys, Jake here. Up until this point on my channel, I have resisted talking about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, but given the recent price movements, I feel like it is unavoidable. So in today's video, let's talk about Bitcoin. And up front, I have to confess to you guys that I do not own any Bitcoin. I do not own any cryptocurrency. I have no immediate plans in the future to buy Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. And I'm going to explain to you in this video why, but before you give me a thumbs down or leave a nasty comment, I want to let you know that if you buy Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, I want you to make money. I want your investment to succeed. Anybody who watches my videos, I'm rooting for you. I try to promote educational awareness because I want everyone to gain value and become more wealthy, more successful if you watch my videos. There are lots of great books out there talking about the positives of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. These are a couple that you can buy on Amazon, and let's just start with the pros. And these are very appealing to me, but the pros are decentralized peer-to-peer payments across the globe. This is incredible. No transaction fees, transferring payments across the globe. This is a truly global currency. And obviously people really like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in general because it cannot be manipulated by governments or central banks. Nobody controls it except the people who own it. However, there are some cons to Bitcoin, and I've got 10 of them for you. So we're going to go through each one at a time. And the first one is there's nothing special about Bitcoin. Blockchain technology, in my opinion, is here to stay. It works, people love it. However, Bitcoin is just the oldest and most well-known cryptocurrency that uses blockchain technology. There's also Ripple, Ethereum, Litecoin, Potcoin, Dogecoin. There are dozens of new cryptocurrencies being invented every day, having their ICOs, initial coin offerings. And whether or not Bitcoin can maintain its supremacy, that is not proven yet. It's potentially one of these other cryptocurrencies that in 5 years, 10 years, could become the new global standard. And with the popularity and normalcy of cryptocurrencies, all these large companies, tech companies, are getting in on the action. Facebook has already launched their cryptocurrency called Diem, and it's rumored that Amazon is going to launch their own cryptocurrency soon as well. And these large tech companies offer something that Bitcoin does not. They offer a customer service center, an email or a phone number you can call should you have questions or have problems with your cryptocurrency. With Bitcoin, there's nobody there to help you. Nobody exists. The founder of Bitcoin is Satoshi Nakamoto, and his last communication with anybody was April 2011. That was 10 years ago. His Bitcoin identifier in the wallet has 980,000 Bitcoins. At the price of Bitcoin today, that is worth $53 billion. And nobody knows who this person really is. Nobody knows what happened to them. Probably he or she is dead. And I'm sure you've heard of these nightmare scenarios of people who have lost their Bitcoin password. This person, Stephen Thomas, had $321 million in Bitcoin. This article is from a month ago, so this is now closer to $500 million. And he lost his password. When you want to directly own your Bitcoin, you need to set up a wallet, and then you're given a public passkey and a private passkey. If you lose your private password, you lost your Bitcoin. It's gone forever. And just think about that. Would you put your money, your wealth in a place called Bank of Nowhere, a place that doesn't exist, you can't call anyone, no one can help you? Would you even accept a very small chance that you could lose everything forever? Would you put hundreds of millions of dollars in such a theoretical bank? No, you wouldn't, I wouldn't. And for those of you who say, well, Jake, I don't have a digital wallet. I buy my Bitcoin through Robinhood, or I keep my coins with Coinbase. I feel like people have very quickly forgotten the Mt. Gox incident. This was back from 2014, where what is now valued close to $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin was lost by this private company. It was an exchange based out of Tokyo that handled 80% of Bitcoin transactions back in the day, and it was hacked. Bitcoins were lost, and it went bankrupt in 2014. People lost a fortune in this incident. To say that this can't happen to Robinhood, or this can't happen to these other players like Coinbase, it's a little naive if you don't directly control your own Bitcoin by having your own digital wallet. And con number 3 is Bitcoin right now is the most speculated cryptocurrency, meaning it is the least stable. It is the most prone, in my opinion, to fluctuation. And just look at what the share price has done in the last year. So it was around $5,000 when the pandemic hit, and it's now at $55,000. If you're watching this video in the future, it could be at $100,000, it could be at $200,000. The problem with this is people are piling into Bitcoin not because they believe in cryptocurrency or blockchain technology or decentralized peer-to-peer transactions. That is what Bitcoin is supposed to be for. They're doing it because Bitcoin goes up. It makes them money. So what do they value? Do they value the zeros and ones, a single Bitcoin and its potential, or do they value $55,000? Now, obviously, the average person on a street, if you offered them a jump drive with the password to 1 Bitcoin versus a brick of cash of $55,000, they're going to take the $55,000. If you're watching this video, then potentially you have an investment or an interest in Bitcoin. So maybe, yes, you are smart enough to say, hey, I think Bitcoin is going up. I value that 1 Bitcoin. However, most people speculating and piling into Bitcoin right now, they value the money more than Bitcoin. So the second that this number starts going down, would you rather have 1 Bitcoin or $50,000? 1 Bitcoin or $40,000? Once this number starts going down, people are going to panic, and potentially there could be another crash of Bitcoin very soon. And con number 4 is actually deflation. And deflation is something that we don't really think about because, especially in America, we haven't experienced this in a very long time, not since the 70s. And deflation doesn't exist because governments and central banks try really hard not to have it happen. So the goal of central banks is always to have inflation be between 1% and 2%. They do this to offer an incentive for you to spend money. If your dollar is going to be worth 98 cents next year, you have an incentive to spend it, to buy something, to invest it. However, if your dollar is going to be worth $2 next year, why would you spend it? The same is true for Bitcoin, and that's exactly why the price is skyrocketing right now. Nobody is spending it, nobody is selling it. Why would you sell your Bitcoin if it's going to be worth $100,000 in 3 months, or $200,000, or $700,000 in 5 years? So what we're experiencing with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically, if it is truly a currency, we're experiencing deflation, and this is not good for price stability. And con number 5 is Bitcoin is not a commodity. It doesn't have any real-world practical use. It has no intrinsic value. Gold, oil, lumber, copper, these all have applications in the real world, so there will always be a demand for it. And with bonds, it's governments or corporations legally offering you that protection. They have to pay their debts. Same thing with stocks. I mean, maybe this is the most intangible, but it's the intrinsic value of the underlying company that gives stocks value. With Bitcoin, nothing gives it value. It can go to zero overnight. And Bitcoin is really its own thing. It's a new asset class. It's not a very good currency because it's not stable. It's not a commodity, and it has no intrinsic value. The second people stop valuing it, it can just collapse. And con number 6 is I am just biased towards stocks. I like the idea of a company generating profits and paying those profits out to their shareholders, or at the very least doing stock buybacks, using profits to make your share in the equity of a company more valuable. Bitcoin can and will never do this. Con number 7, I might lose some people, but Bitcoin is not a new technology. Everybody keeps saying, oh, Bitcoin, this hot new technology, blockchain technology, it's brand new. No, it's not. When you look at the rate of change of technology over time, the growth is exponential. The potential and the power of what new tech can do keeps getting better progressively every year. So when you look at technology from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it increasingly looks more outdated and worse. This is a great time to be alive. But when we think about when Bitcoin came out, it was initially released on January 3rd, 2009. So this is 2008. invented technology. Can you remember what other technology was like in 2008? The hottest phone on the market in 2008 was the Motorola Razr V3. Would you want to be investing in or buying this technology from 13 years ago? I wouldn't. You want to look at what the MacBook looked like in 2008? Here are their specs. This is their processing power and what you could do. You could probably still browse the web with this, but you're not editing 4K videos or uploading them on this MacBook. So Bitcoin is a 13-year-old technology, and it's getting older every year. So the potential of what is next, something new coming along, we don't know what it is yet. Technology, once again, accelerates over time. So the potential that something could be better than Bitcoin, in my opinion, is highly probable. And when will it appear? Probably pretty soon. And the biggest flaw to Bitcoin might be there are no software updates coming. Nothing can be updated to the source code for Bitcoin. It is static. It is frozen in time. It is 2008 technology forever. And I just think that something else is going to come along. Maybe Amazon's cryptocurrency or Facebook's cryptocurrency that will be able to update and adapt to changing times and changing technology. A good example of this is Con 8, and this is that the blockchain is growing exponentially. Every time a transaction occurs with a Bitcoin, it has to be recorded in the ledger. Not everybody has a copy of the ledger, but they should. They should in order to maintain the integrity of the blockchain. So look at the growth from January 2009 up until this year, 2021. The current ledger size that everybody needs to download is over 300 gigabytes. I just bought a brand new MacBook Pro with a 2 terabyte hard drive. Within a couple years, the ledger that everyone should have is going to fill up the entire hard drive of my computer. Now, what is the solution to this? There are solutions proposed, but you can't stop this. Is Bitcoin really going to become the new global currency that everyone is using when the ledger is 10 terabytes big, 20 terabytes big? It's just going to keep growing exponentially, and there is no solution, in my opinion, that solves this size problem. And Bitcoin also has a scalability problem. Bitcoin can only handle about 7 transactions per second. To put that in perspective, Visa or MasterCard handle hundreds of thousands of transactions every second across the globe. So it's almost like the person who invented Bitcoin did not intend for this to actually become the new global standard currency that billions of people were using daily. 7 transactions per second across the globe, I see this as a limitation of Bitcoin going forward. Con number 9 is terrifying, but all cryptography will eventually be broken. Every password and username that you're using to log into banks or credit cards, all that encryption will soon be broken. And here's an article from the Wall Street Journal. The day when computers can break all encryption is coming. However, banks, companies, governments are planning for this. They're responding to this. They're planning for what is next as far as our encryption needs once computers are so powerful that they can decrypt anything. Here's an article from MIT Technology Review, how a quantum computer could break 2048-bit RSA encryption in 8 hours. And this is going to happen. This is going to happen in the very near future. And the second that this technology exists, somebody will use it. Somebody will use a quantum computer to crack Bitcoin and either steal Bitcoins or corrupt the blockchain, make it worthless. A 4,000 qubit quantum computer could theoretically crack Bitcoin's encryption in a matter of seconds. The current generation of quantum computers max out at 54 qubits. A quantum computer capable of cracking Bitcoin's encryption could be just 2 years away. Now, I'm a big Star Trek fan. I love science fiction. I love wondering what is possible in the near future or in the distant future. I love technology and the rate of change. I love trying new things. However, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically, this is a 2000s sci-fi idea. Somebody thought of this in the early 2000s and they made it happen. Incredible. We had a great run with cryptocurrency in the 2010s. However, bringing down the global crypto network, that seems like a 2020 sci-fi idea. And there's people with nothing else really important going on who are working on doing this right now. I mean, if you were some expert hacker, why would you not do it for the lulz? Just think of the meme stocks going on right now. People are kind of anarchists. I definitely could see that if Bitcoin reaches a market cap valuation of trillions of dollars, if somebody can bring it down just to brag that they did it, of course they're going to do it. And con number 10 is nobody is coming to save your Bitcoin. Nobody cares. If the whole point of buying a decentralized cryptocurrency was to avoid banks and avoid governments, then banks and governments are not going to bail you out. They're not going to save your Bitcoin should it become corrupted and found useless. Additionally, I mean, if you want to get conspiratorial here, if the actors who have the most to lose from Bitcoin succeeding are banks and governments, who's most likely to corrupt or hack or make Bitcoin worthless? It's the people who could afford a quantum computer. It's central banks and governments. I'm just an idea, just a conspiracy, but you know, who has the most to gain by Bitcoin failing? And it's the people who have the most to lose by Bitcoin succeeding. So for all those reasons, I have chosen not to invest in Bitcoin. I have no plans to invest in Bitcoin in the near future. However, Bitcoin is probably going to keep going up as more and more corporations jump on the bandwagon of normalizing it. Will Bitcoin reach $100,000 a coin? Probably. Will it reach 200,000, 300,000, 400,000? Yeah, I think it might in the next couple years. This is going to keep going until something stops it. And it just comes down to risk versus return. What is the risk associated to Bitcoin as I understand it? Once again, I could be 100% wrong. But as I think about it and understand it, the risk is that Bitcoin can go to zero. If it can go to zero, I don't care that it could potentially double, triple, quadruple in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. I don't want to be on that bus when it crashes. So I'm not getting on. And to put it in perspective, the S&P 500 is up 18% since the November election. I'm still making money in the market. I'm still happy with the returns that I'm getting from stocks. So I don't feel the need to participate or buy Bitcoin. But once again, guys, it's up to your risk tolerance, and it's just too risky for me. Once again, I could be 100% wrong, and we could solve all the problems associated with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. It could become the new global standard, and, you know, it's just, it is what it is, guys. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up so the algorithm knows it's good. In addition, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I know I'm going to get unloaded on in the comments section, but go ahead, leave a comment. I will let you tell me how stupid I am and how wrong I am for not buying Bitcoin. Till the next video, guys, take care.